Hello everyone, this is Vanlife Goodies, and today in Camper Chats we are going to talk about how I prepare for a trip with a few little ideas and tips and tricks. What started as a mattress in the back of a work van to an old Mark I Transit with no power steering to years of saving and eventually our little T5 giving us memories we will always treasure. Finally, after the sad loss of my mother, a gift like no other. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think. Bye, have fun! Follow us as we begin the next adventure in our VW Crafter Campervan, sharing our trips along with ideas and product reviews for van life. So the whole point of Camper Chats is that you can share your ideas in the comments below. So it's not just me giving my ideas. So if you've got any ideas, things to add to what I'm saying, please put it in the comments below, and then other people can read that and comment, and we can get a little conversation going, which is the whole point of us calling it Camper Chats, to have a chat, but in the comments. So I might eventually have people next to me and we can have a chat with them, like an interview style, but at the moment it's just me, I'm afraid. Okay, so I have written notes, so bear with me. Let me find my notes. Okay, so one of the first things to consider is how long you're going to go for, be it a weekend or a longer period. So for now, I'm just going to talk like what I would do for a quick weekend away. So to start with, the camper van already has most of the things it needs inside. So I do use this as my daily drive, but I tend to use my bike rather than this. So unless I'm going Aldi or I'm picking up a lot of people, but mostly all of the like condiments and knives and forks and pans and the oil for the van and all of the things that the chairs, everything you kind of need other than clothes and food is already in the camper van, and even some food is already in, like tea bags, Yorkshire tea bags of course, and sugar, and there's some noodles and tin goods and things like that. So most of the things you need are already in the van. I need fresh food and clothes, but before every trip I do something that I think is a really good tip, so I hope you find this useful. I'm going to put something up on the screen here so that you can see what I'm doing. I've got like a checklist app, so it's a free app called Checklist, and what I've done is I've written a list of everything I could possibly need on any trip for a camping trip. So I've listed absolutely everything from the duvet to knives and forks to utensils to a speaker to the fire pit to wood. I've even put things like turn the lights off at home, shut all the doors, make sure the neighbours have got the key, or you know, whatever needs to be done goes on that list. And then what I do is every single camping trip I sit and I go through that list, ticking off everything that's already in the van. So for instance, for a weekend trip I would already tick off, yes, I've got the plates, yes, I've got the pans, yes, I've got the utensils, I always have them. But what I might have done is, yes, I have foil in, for example, but I might have used it up last time. So it helps me to just think, have I got foil or do I need to refill that? Have I got tea bags? Do they need refilling? And what it does is it helps me to do that trip without having to think, have I got everything every time? Because, you know, part of the struggle of getting away is the planning that's involved. Now, you might not be camping as such and you haven't got all your tent and everything else, but even in a camper van, there's still a level of planning of what do you need to take with you, and just the brain power of that when you've been at work for a week and you're tired can sometimes actually put you off going away because you just haven't got it in you. Whereas if the camper van's already stocked and all you do is go through a checklist that you've pre-planned, then you can tick off as you go, and then all that's left in that checklist is what needs to go in the van. So it might be that I might put on the checklist, for instance, I've got my bike, the chain for my bike, the pump for my bike. So I'll have all those on the checklist, but if I know I'm going somewhere where I'm not taking my bike, I would just check them off. So all that's left then is for me to put in the van what's left. And then after the trip, when I've ticked everything off, and I've loaded the van, I just uncheck everything on that list. So the list stays there, but it's all now unchecked, ready for the next list, for the next trip. So I find this an absolute brilliant way to pack for a trip. It's a really good way to not get stressed trying to think about everything you might need. And it helps you to think, do I need that item for this particular trip? So our next trip, for instance, is we're going away with the girls. So they're going to need pop tents, and they're going to need roll mats, and they're going to need their duvets or sleeping bags. And there's a lot of things that we're taking that I wouldn't normally need. And so having that checklist with all of those things on, most of the time I would just check them off, because no, the girls aren't with me, we don't need pop tents, the girls aren't with me, we don't need sleeping bags. Whereas this time I've been able to look through the list and think, oh, we do need that, I'll make sure I've put that in. So you will have seen this on the screen next to me. I'll do a little shot of this checklist app, but honestly it is the best thing ever for getting organised for going away, and I just use it every time, and I find it really helpful. You just have to kind of set it up to start with everything that's in your van, so you've always got it on that checklist. And of course, if you can add notes to it, and you can add things or just delete things, you know, like I don't actually need a bike rack anymore, because the bike fits in the back of this van, actually inside the van, so I've just deleted that off of my checklist. So that's the first tip, and I really would advise that you take advantage of that, because it's absolutely invaluable. I find it anyway. Now, the next thing I do, I have written notes, so bear with me, because I have written notes for this, and I've not found them yet, so I'm trying to think. I'm just going to pause you. So the next thing I do, so there's a couple of things I do for every trip, especially if it's like a weekend or a few days, slightly different if it's a longer trip. So the first thing I'll do is actually plan my meals. Now I know it sounds a bit like over planning everything, but what you can end up doing is you take everything from your fridge, you think, oh, you go shopping, you think, oh, I'll take that, and you end up with loads of stuff. And if you're only going away for 2-3 days, you end up putting everything in and then taking half of it back out again. And the whole point of having a camper van for a weekend is to get away quickly, and when you get home, unpack quickly so you can enjoy the weekend. So I tend to think, what am I going to eat? Say we went on Friday, Saturday, came back Sunday. What am I going to eat Friday night for tea? What am I going to eat for breakfast? Butties probably for middle of the day. And what am I going to eat Saturday night, so that I basically plan what I'm going to need. I might take a few extras, but it just condenses that what shall we eat moment. And if we decide to eat out, then that's fine, or if we see a market or something and buy something different, that's fine. But I think just having that planning helps you to reduce the time it takes to load the van and the time it takes to unload at the other end. So that's the first thing I do, is plan my meals. Well, the first thing I do is the checklist. I plan my meals. Another idea is I go on Park for Night, and I look at the area that we're going to be visiting, and I go and create a list. Now, I think you can only do this if you've paid the £10 fee for the year, but I find that gets you better park-ups anyway. And I go and look at all of the ones in the area that I think look nice. So I'll just be sat, and instead of scrolling on social media, I'll go on Park for Night and think, oh, I'm going to, I don't know, Yorkshire, around this area. Where is there near that has some good park-ups? And I'll add them all to the list, so that when I'm in that area, even if I've not decided where I'm going to stay, I can go on that list and see the ones that I highlighted as good ones. I usually go for 4 or 5 star, and I usually try and go for the ones that are like a tree, so they're kind of in the countryside. But I will look at car parks. It just kind of depends what kind of weekend we're going to. So I star them, and I call it trip to Yorkshire April or July or whenever it is we're going, so that I can easily find those park-ups again when I'm in the area. And I might have 6 or 7 park-ups that I thought were nice around that area, but I might only use 2. But it just niches it down, so you're not doing that scrolling while you're travelling. You can think it's easier to find, and you just find it. I did do a video, last video, all about how we find park-ups. So if you haven't gone to watch that, it's a Camper Chats video of how we find free park-ups. And one of the things I said is when you go on the park up on Park for Night and have a look, then go to Google Maps, but look at Street View, and I find that's really helpful for getting a vibe for the place, to see if it's a park up that I would feel comfortable staying at. If I'm with Dave, I don't care. He's like, I feel safe with Dave. But if I'm on my own, I'd be a little bit more kind of, how does that feel? What's the vibe? So a bit more planning maybe if I'm on my own. Okay. So star all your park ups, plan your meals, use your checklist. Okay, so this is another thing. So the other thing I do, which makes it fun, is let's just say we're going to settle in Yorkshire, okay? I would type in settle into Instagram, hidden gems in Settle. I'd go on TripAdvisor, places to visit in Settle, things to do, interesting sites. I'd go on National Trust website and go and look at anything locally that I think is interesting. And then what I do is I go onto my Google Maps and I will find that place, I will save it, and I save it to a folder called Trips, whatever you want to call the folder, but I save it. And then what happens is when you then go on your maps, there'll be lots of little green dots on your Google Maps. So you could be driving somewhere for a weekend away and you're heading, this is us all over, we're heading there because we think we're going to go there. But on the way, I notice there's a green dot and I go and have a look and I go, oh yeah, I remember that. I saw that on Instagram. There's a beautiful waterfall on the way. Shall we stop there? And this way, I think what you do is you get to see lots of places that you would otherwise have just driven past if you've done your research before you go. But you don't have to go mad with your research and have it all perfectly planned. And I think having these little dots on your Google Maps is a brilliant way to save all those interesting places. And then next time you're in that area, you can go and see it instead of thinking that's where we're going today and we're going to stick with that. So, for instance, you know, on Instagram you go and people say, oh, 8 places to visit in Scotland that you don't want to miss. Go and put them on your Google Maps and put them in that folder of trips. And then that way, whenever you're in Scotland, for example, you've got all these dots already dotted around Scotland to go and explore. And I find this is really helpful. I've got dots all over my Google Maps, and there's so many times when I've just gone even for a day out and thought, oh, there's a green dot nearby. What's that? Why did I mark it? And I'll go and have a look and I'll think, no way, let's go and explore that. So I find that is a really, really helpful thing to do to plan, you know, where you're going to go. So just to conclude, really simply, these are the things I do for a trip. Number 1, have a checklist that you can check everything and then uncheck it ready for the next one. It makes it much quicker packing your van. Have your van mostly prepared all of the time with most things. So all you have to do is put food and clothes in. Next is plan your meals to make it simple and easy so you don't overpack. Next is star some of your where you're going to stay on Park for Night. This is if you wild camp, because obviously if you're a campsite, you're a little bit more planned about where you're going and everything, but we tend to wild camp, so star a few places on Park for Night or Overlander if that's what you use. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, because that's the whole point of being in a campervan, that you go and explore places to visit, go on Instagram or Google or TripAdvisor or even just Google places to visit near, you know, the area that you're going, and go and do a little bit of research and star them on your Google Maps so that you can decide when you get there, which gives you that sense of freedom to go and explore without it being over planned or without missing places. I hope that makes sense. I think that's all I've written. I think the only thing I will say, the next trip we're going on is a lot less planned because we're going with the girls, which means we're on campsites because they don't want to share a van with us, so they're in their own tents, little pop tents. So we are going to 2 places in Wales, one Shell Island, of course, we love Shell Island. One is Porthlaego campsite, which has its own cove and overlooks the sea, and it looks beautiful, and I've always wanted to go. So we're going there, and then lastly we're going to a Chester campsite, Netherwood campsite that we've been to before, because it's near kind of Chester, which is great for kind of I suppose, getting back into city living, if you like, and there's shops to see, and the girls will enjoy that because they'll probably be bored by then of kind of just countryside. So it's a real kind of relax and then ease ourselves back into normality. So that's going to be a 2-week trip. I don't know if I'll do it in 1 or 2 videos, but that'll probably be the next video you see. Might be, might not, might be the next, but next. But for a trip like that, it's going to be very different because we're not doing we're visiting places between one campsite and another, but what we tend to do on this kind of holiday is set up camp and stay put. And it might be that we go for a coastal walk, it might be that we eat something nice and we enjoy kind of local markets or something like that, but we're not using the campervan like me and Dave like to use it, which is drive to one place, go and explore, drive to another, go and explore, and use it in that way. It's going to be a very different feel. So it's probably, you know, like some people enjoy just sitting in front of a campfire, enjoying that relaxing time. So it depends how you travel. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful, but please, 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 will you, number one, put your ideas in the comments. How do you pack for a trip? Give me your tips, because I know there'll be more, and people have ideas that I've not thought of, and I'll be like, oh my goodness, that's a brilliant idea. So please put your tips below, and write it in the comments. Just go and put a comment, and that would be really good to share. And if you enjoy these videos, if you click the subscribe, that's great. If you share the video, that's brilliant. If you even just press like, that helps the algorithm to share it with other people, and that helps us out. But if you can't be bothered with any of that and you've enjoyed the video, then that's absolutely fine as well. So thanks for watching, and until next time, I don't know what video it is because I'm ahead with my videos and I'm all confused. But until next time, thank you for watching, and get packing for your next trip. Bye!